Chief Meteorologist Tom Coombs here to talk about summer. June 1st is the beginning of meteorological summer. We're starting to keep the records for summer 2021, and we're going to be heating up. I think the summer is going to be hot and dry, especially the early portion of summer is most likely to be dry, and that's going to be my top concern is drought, and to go with it, some warm temperatures that will only dry us out even more. Latest climate outlook is out, and you can see a good chunk of the country, including our region, is likely for the first 2 weeks or so of June to be pretty warm. Very high probability as we head towards the 6, 7, 10-day outlook. So again, that's June 7th through June 11th as we head towards this weekend, likely to be above normal temperatures. And the normal temperature range is around 80 degrees, 78. We're going to be above that. Upper 80s, possibly even touching 90. So high confidence that we're going to see above normal temperatures as we start the month of June. The outlook for precipitation, believe it or not, has us in a very low probability to be maybe above normal, but I just don't really see that. I think we're going to be below normal as far as rainfall goes, and that's something we're probably going to be continuing to chase. We'll talk more on that in a second. As far as this season in general, we're actually on the edge in a region of what we would call equal chances for South Bend, at least part of the area. I'm leaning towards above normal temperatures just because I think we're going to get off to a very warm start. That's what's in the 10-day forecast, and that's probably what's in store for the first couple weeks of June, and that may be the tipping point between an above normal to a near normal summer, but will it last into July? That's something that will also bear watching. As far as the precipitation outlook, we're in that same equal chances zone where there's no climatological feature that says, oh, we might be wetter. And I think there's a lot leaning towards us likely being drier. So let's get into some numbers here. Spring and winter were above normal. Winter, a little bit above normal. Spring, even with a chilly May, for the most part, 19th warmest on record. So for the year to date, 28th warmest. That's a mark to watch that I think we can continue to climb, especially here during the early portions of June. Again, this could be a top 20, top 15, top 10 warmest year on record, given the outlook right now and our current positioning. My forecast for this summer and really this year as far as 90-degree temperatures, we've not had our first 90 yet, 15 to 20. Last year we had 22. We did have some 90-degree temperatures in May, got us off to an early start. We've been close, but we could easily catch up. And drought, dry years are typically hotter. The actual high temperature usually gets hotter with dry air. So the Dust Bowl, a great example of that back in the 30s. We had some of our hottest years ever because drought let temperatures soar into the hundreds. Here's some climo. 22 was the number of 90-degree days for last year. The most in recent history was 33 back in 2012, and this could be a similar mirror year. 2012 was a very dry year, and we typically see about 13 and a half, so between 13 and 14 days of 90-degree heat in a year. We're calling for more than that. This should be an above normal summer just based on 90-degree heat. And the averages have actually gone down. Comparing climatological studies, it's interesting. It's gone down slightly, but the past 5 years or so have been really wet. We didn't have a lot of 90-degree heat from about 2015 through 2020. We just had really wet summers that were oppressively muggy, but muggy air is really tough to heat up. And so we didn't get a lot of 90s. We had really muggy nights, but we didn't have officially 90-degree heat. That might be changing again this year. First 90 typically comes around the 12th. That was the old climatological. The new climo, the most recent 30-year average, is around June 7th. So seeing that around this weekend would put us right around what is the new normal for seeing our first 90-degree day. Rainfall, this is how we ended May. 1.25 inches down or close to that. For the season, about 2.5 inches. We could handle that if that was it, but we've been now dry since the beginning of the year. We've been dry pretty much since last year, and it's the cumulativeness of drought that really adds up and is starting to add up. Here's some Climo maps of rainfall departure. And look, as we go back to since June 2020, our region is 10 to 12 inches, so almost a foot below normal total rainfall since last June. Everything's starting to add up to this point. If we don't see some significant rainfall nearish normal to keep us going, this is where dry weather from last year can really hit us and impact us. So my top concern is drought. Dry weather can then lead to more hot weather, which actually makes drought worse. And sometimes it just takes a lot, maybe a tropical system or hurricane or something, to really break the whole cycle and break the pattern to get us some rainfall in here. That'll be bearing watching as well. That could be some unknowns for July or August that could play with us. But I would be most concerned about drought. And you're going to hear this over and over. Keep watering. So keep watering, stay cool. The good news is it shouldn't be oppressive humidity, so it may be technically hot, but not all that humid. We're going to hope for rain, but overall the pattern still looks to be pretty quiet here. So the forecast for summer 2021, hot and dry. We'll wait and see as we head into July and August if this pattern looks to change.